back to my channel. Today I want to chat with you about some Valentine's Day books. Valentine's Day is coming up 1 week from tomorrow, and I'm guessing your students may have mentioned it. I know my own kids keep asking, how many more days until Valentine's Day? So I know your students are probably pretty excited too. So I have some books today that I want to share with you that talk not really about Valentine's Day, but more about friendship and love and even showing emotions, because it's a great time to talk about what's in our heart, the emotions that we feel in our heart and in our bodies. And I think it's a great time to talk about those with students. So let me go grab those books and I'll be right back. All ready to go, and we're gonna go through this quick because my own children are distance learning today, so you may see them barge in at any moment, so just be prepared for that. Our first book that I have today is Nobody Hugs a Cactus. So Hank is a cranky cactus, and he lives alone and he doesn't want anybody to bother him. And throughout the story, different animals and creatures go by his windowsill where he sits. He yells and snarls at each one of them, saying, "Get away from me." But then one day, something happens and Hank needs help. Somebody reaches out to help him, and he realizes that he's kind of lonely and maybe he does want to hug someone. But all the other creatures kind of joke around and say, "Yeah, right, nobody wants to hug a cactus." And then he decides that he does want to give somebody a hug, and maybe he's a little more lonely than he realized. I really love this story, and I think this would be a good one to read for Valentine's Day. And speaking of hugs, the next book I have is Hug Machine. And we all know a hug is a simple act that can make a big difference in somebody's day. In this story, there's a little boy who is a hug machine. He is great at hugging, and he loves to hug everyone and everything. And he really does his best to try to figure out the best way to hug everything that he comes in contact with. I would pair these books maybe with the book Don't Hug Doug, because I think it's important that not only are hugs fun and people love to receive them, sometimes. Not everybody loves hugs, and it's always important to ask first. So if you check out the book Don't Hug Doug, it's a great one to pair with this and talk about that personal space and personal boundaries, and giving people the space that they need and making sure that everyone is okay with receiving a hug if we want to give them one. And I have an interactive read aloud to go along with Don't Hug Doug that I think can really reiterate this concept with students in your class. An important social emotional skill for them to know and learn. The next book I have is Love. And this is a really powerful book that depicts the many different ways that love can be shown and that we experience love in our own lives. Whether it's laughing with a family member or playing with a friend or feeling comforted or safe from a parent or a teacher. There's so many different ways that love can be expressed, and it's a way that connects us all. It's a really soothing and reassuring tale that I think would be great for Valentine's Day. To go along with the theme of love, I have the book I Am Love. Love means showing kindness, living with gratitude, and taking care of our own minds and bodies. And that's exactly what this book goes into in a way that's great for students to understand. I think it would be a great one for adults to pick up too, but it is meant for children. And it's, again, a celebration of love in all of its different forms. And it really asks the reader to look inward and to understand all of their feelings, and helps them to figure out what they mean. So a great book to talk about love, but also to talk about emotions and feelings as well. Another great one for Valentine's Day. And speaking of feelings and emotions, In My Heart is a book that touches on exactly that. It shares how we all have many different feelings and that it's okay to experience all these feelings. And the thing I like about this book is that it gives concrete examples of those feelings, because our feelings and our emotions are really abstract, especially for younger kids, and it's hard for them to express how they're feeling. And so this book kind of takes them through that and what it means to feel angry, or what it might look like when we feel sad or happy or excited. And so I think this is a good one to read aloud with your students, but to refer back to when they are feeling those strong emotions. And I have a free activity to go along with this book where students can make their own book of feelings, and I'll leave a link to that in the description box down below. I also have a separate interactive read aloud lesson plan to go along with it, and then you can really dive into the book. I have discussion questions to go along with it, as long as some extension activities and task cards to really help your students understand not only the book, but their own emotions and feelings as well. And again, I'll leave a link to that in the description box down below. Another Valentine's Day book that I have is The Invisible String. In this story, a mom explains how we are all connected by this invisible string, that we can't see it, but it's there. This string is made of love. Even though you can't see it, you can feel it. We are all connected to each other through love. This is a great book to ease anxiety or loss. So it's not exactly a happy, uplifting book, but it's an important one for students who are going through more difficult situations. So a great one to pull out when they need to feel that connection with somebody else. And another book that I have for Valentine's Day is about sharing what's in our heart. This book is called What is Given from the Heart. And in this story, a young boy finds out that one of his friends has lost everything in a fire, and their community is collecting things to give to them to help them rebuild. And he doesn't really know what to give. And he is encouraged to give something from the heart. And it's such a powerful thing for students to understand and to learn. And so you'll see as you read through this story what he decides to give, to share with his friend that really truly comes from his heart. So those are all the books that I have today for Valentine's Day. And as you notice, they weren't exactly about the holiday Valentine's Day, but they were about friendship and love and emotions and feelings, all connected to our heart, which I think is a great topic to touch upon around February 14th. And as I mentioned, there are some friendship books. I have a whole collection of friendship books in a video that I will leave linked right here. And I'll also put a link in the description box down below. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, give it a thumbs up and hit that red subscribe button down below, because I'll be back next Sunday night with more read aloud tips and book ideas for you to take into your classroom right away. Have a great week with more read aloud tips, and hit that red